What's going on, everybody? So this week was an interesting one. I reached back in the collection for a few things that I haven't worn in a long time. One in particular, I haven't worn in a very, very long time. And then, of course, some stuff that's known compliment getters. I mean, they just, even what I wore today, which I wore again out the shower, which we'll get to that. It's on Saturday, the very end of the video. But a lot of really, really good smelling stuff this week that I did get my fair share of compliments when I went out and about this week, and not just stuff from the wife. So let's talk about it. It's week number 121. Stay tuned. Starting off on Sunday, this was me reaching back in the collection like I was talking about. I did a video where I surveyed Instagram on what's the best cheap cologne of all time. And this one got mentioned enough to make it in the video. It's even in the thumbnail. That's Burberry Touch. And look, I couldn't agree more. This is some good stuff. I used to have a larger bottle than this, but this is my 30 ml I've had for a few years now. It just goes to show how long it's been since I've worn it, because there's not a huge dent. There's a little bit of a dent though, but man, Violet Leaf. One of the best Violet Leaf fragrances ever made. I have no problem saying that. I'll stand behind that statement, no problem. Solid performer, not a beast, definitely not weak. A little powdery, woody, has kind of a slight herbaceous feel without being spicy or really fresh at the same time. There's a little bit of citrus here, but just a touch. It's not super fresh up top, but there is a freshness. And then that Violet Leaf adds that slight Fahrenheit similarity, that little bit of petroleum type of note. Just a little hint of it meets a bit of an aquatic undertone. This is really good stuff. There's a lot of people that dig this fragrance over the years, and hey, I agree. This is definitely one of the best cheap fragrances ever made. And one I haven't worn, and I couldn't tell you how long it's been. It's been well over a year. Until this point, I sprayed it, I want to say like 7 times, which is more than enough, and I enjoyed every minute of this fragrance being on my skin. Definitely not one of the ones I got a compliment from this week, but it was nice to reach back and kind of fall in love all over again with a fragrance that I have a lot of love for over the years. So if you haven't sprayed your bottle in a long time, maybe it's time to revisit it. If you haven't had it in a while, maybe it's time to rebuy it. If you've never tried it before, it's definitely time to try it. During the day, the infamous Burberry Touch. And then when I got the shower, speaking of infamous, cheapy classic right here. Nautica Voyage. This is another one that got enough mentions to make the video. This was in that same video. Most people enjoy this. Not everybody. Some people, it's just too cheap and synthetic, or I've had people tell me it's too feminine for them even. That it's too floral and stuff like that. Because it does have a little bit of a white floral touch going for it. Clean musk. It's not all about watery aquatic and green apple like the opening. But it's surprising to me. If you find this too feminine, 2/3 of my collection is too feminine for you. Honestly. But for some people, this is too feminine. I can understand. Some guys really like to stick to their aromatic fougères, their spicier leather fragrances and stuff like that. Stuff that has a much more masculine edge. This is fresh, easygoing, aquatic, musky. And like I said, a little touch of white floral, so I can see where this could potentially be a little too feminine for some. But for most, it's a great addition to a collection. It's a great way to start out without spending a lot of money. It will pull a compliment here and there. It just smells fresh and clean. It's one of the best cheap, fresh, and clean fragrances ever. It was nice to revisit, because it's been a while. Out the shower, Nautica Voyage. Moving into Monday, this is one I've given quite a bit of praise ever since it came out. I bought it the day it released in the US for full retail from the brand. I've done that with the last few releases from the brand for this line, and their next release, I'll probably do the same thing. That's the Spicebomb line. This is Viktor & Rolf Spicebomb Infrared. This stuff is just so good. It gets better with every spray. It just does. Has a little bit of a Red Hots appeal with a light sweetness, without being too candied type of sweetness. When I say Red Hots, it's definitely a little bit of a cinnamon candied sweetness, but not too much of it. Not to the point to where somebody would say, oh, it's too synthetic or it's too sweet. I'm sure there's some that may feel that way, but I can't imagine too many people feeling that way. Very aromatic. It wears light and airy, but has staying power. It has sex appeal. It's alluring, like the line is known to be for the most part. This is a really, really good fragrance. This was such a good release, in my humble opinion, to the Spicebomb line. I think they did great. I've gotten to where I wear it more than Night Vision EDP, and Night Vision EDP was kind of my favorite in the line. And I'm gathering my thoughts here for a second because I think I'm about to go out on a limb here and say this has become my favorite in the line. It's the one I keep going back to when I get in the mood for a Spicebomb fragrance. I grab this one. I could grab the original. I could grab Extreme. I have a 20 ml of the discontinued Fresh. I've got them all. I've got them all. Night Vision EDT and EDP. Every time for some reason, I'll look through the other ones and I'll end up spraying this one. It's that good. If you haven't gotten out and sampling it yet, you really should. You really should try this one. I think it was a fantastic release based on the consensus I've seen across social media. I seem to not be the only one that feels like this was a great release and kind of a must-try at this point if you're into spicy fragrances. And it's great for daytime wear, too, not just a date. You like spicy, you like spicy. And if you like spicy, you need to try Spicebomb Infrared. It was a great addition. During the day, I didn't wear it for a dinner date or anything. That was my casual daytime wear scent. And then when I got out the shower, one that I haven't reached for in quite a while. This was my most worn out the shower fragrance for a long time, the last several years up until the last several months. Being Nautica Classic. Haven't worn it in a while. I was just in the mood. I had worn Nautica Voyage the night before. I figured, why not? Let's go with Old Faithful. You know, I love this stuff. Hell, honestly, I use the vintage aftershave splash more than I use this these days. Does everybody like this one? Absolutely not. It's a nostalgia pick for me. I have a vintage bottle. I have a backup bottle of the classic version like this. I've got my fair share of Nautica. And it's just one of those, it takes me back to my childhood. I've been wearing Nautica since I was a kid. You know, I've had many, many bottles. This is my third bottle of the vintage. It's now called the vintage formula. But back when it was just Nautica, before it was, you know, a clear glass of green juice, back when it was green glass with clear juice, I had 2 bottles growing up of back when it was just called Nautica. And then as far as it being called Nautica Classic, this was my second bottle of Nautica Classic. I now have another old bottle. So it's my third green glass bottle that I just kind of have. I don't really wear it much. And then I have a backup bottle of this as well. So that'll make 3 and 3. That makes 6 bottles of this fragrance. So like I said, does everybody like it? No. There are fans of it out there. But for me, it's a nostalgia pick. It reminds me of the 90s. It takes me back to my childhood. Spray it one more time. Why not? Salty marine aquatic type of stuff. Sea breeze. Doesn't have the floral appeal that the old bottles have. Trust me, this is not the rich, dense fragrance that my old bottle is. That one actually has pretty solid performance. This is a 2 to 3 hour fragrance. It's definitely smells like a watered down version of it for sure. But it still, for the most part, smells pretty much like the old bottles, just without the depth and the performance, and you can get these for around 10 to 12 bucks online. If you like salty marine aquatics, you don't want to spend but 10 bucks, you may want to look into this one. It's one of my favorites out the shower. Nautica Classic. This never gets old. There's never a bad time for this except high heat. I think that's a bad time to wear this. But aside from that, if it's mild to cold weather, whether it's a casual setting, which really it's a dressier fragrance than that, or especially a formal setting or dressier occasion, if you will, Triumph of Bacchus from Argos always does the trick. This stuff is just so good. Must try from the house. Still, the main one I say you should try. Apple Peach Rum Tobacco. The main things I get from it, it gets richer and more sweet and fruity in the top as it matures more and more. It's a monster in performance. It's got a very clean smell to it at the same time for having some booze and an earthy note like tobacco, a very rich and robust tobacco note. It's just got this purity to it. I guess it's from the quality of ingredients that Christian's using, but some really good stuff. If you've yet to try this one, I don't know what else I have to say to get you to try it, but carded samples aren't that expensive. You can get 10% off in my link tree. Try it. You can get a sample pack and try the whole house. Honestly, this and Danye, I think you need to try those two for sure. I really, really like Bacchus Immortelle. It's kind of one of my favorite leather fragrances. It's kind of in the realm of a Tuscan leather, but a much higher quality. And Brevito Delicacia, very herbal, earthy green leather type of fragrance. Not my favorite from the house. Pour Homme's very versatile, timeless type of fragrance. But the two, in my opinion, hands down, this is number one. Triumph of Bacchus, and then Danye, one of the newest releases. Just get your nose on them. Try them. Bottles are expensive. Definitely try before you buy. But I love every time I wear this one. During the day, Triumph of Bacchus. And then I got the shower. One of the reasons you guys haven't been seeing aftershaves in my rotation is I've been using Cremo Shave Stick. I've been using the Mint. So the Mint is good about keeping the pores tight. It's kind of counterproductive when you want to open the pores up to shave. But it leaves my skin very soothed after I shave. And I actually haven't used an aftershave in weeks because I've just been using that. And the menthol that's in there has really soothed my skin. And I mean, I've been using a cartridge razor instead of my double-edged safety razor with the shave stick, kind of a quick shave kind of thing. So I haven't had a drastic need for aftershave. Well, this go round, I did bust out a shave soap and go with the double-edged blade, and I went with my Sauvage aftershave splash. I haven't used this in a long time. You want to talk about going Nosmic quick? Throw this on. This is a 2015 original launch batch gift set. Back when even this aftershave is probably just as powerful as current bottles of Sauvage EDT. You'll go nose blind to this fast, especially putting it on your neck, rubbing it around here, and then all over your head, and it's just all in my face. Yeah. I don't smell it after, it don't even take 5 minutes, and I can't smell it anymore. And I know it's not weak. I know it's not weak because my wife's like, whew, you smell strong as soon as I walked in the room. Yeah, this stuff's potent. I haven't used it in a long time. This is, like I said, part of that 2015 launch batch of the original EDT. It was a gift set. The bottle I have, plus this came together. And I use it from time to time. I haven't used it in quite a while. I saw it. I said, yeah, why not? I don't even remember what shave soap I used, but it was a mild shave soap. It wasn't some rich tobacco or earthy type of soap. Something fresh. I don't remember which one. But I was in the mood for it, and I couldn't smell myself, to be honest. I got olfactive fatigue immediately. I went anosmic almost instantaneously after putting on. I mean, the burst of freshness smelled incredible. It was super soothing. It felt great. It smelled good for a solid minute, and then it started to get weaker and weaker as far as my ability to smell it. But I know it was not from weakness of this. It was olfactive fatigue. But now you guys know why you haven't seen any aftershave splashes in these videos in a while. So kind of got lazy for a little bit. It's just easier sometimes to go with the cartridge razor and a shave stick. Lather it up with the brush, rub the shave stick, lather it up with a brush, shave, rinse, and go. It's quick and easy. Sometimes you get in the mood for that. And this time I was back to traditional shaving, and my aftershave of choice was Dior Sauvage. Moving into Wednesday, this is an interesting combination here. During the day, this was one of those fragrances that's just a shame that it's been discontinued. Above average performer too. Not a beast, but a great ginger rose combo. One of the best YSL L'Homme flankers ever put out, in my opinion. I'm talking about L'Homme Ultime. This stuff is just, oh my God, good. So good. So good. Disappointing that they discontinued it. But the sales numbers may not have been there. That's usually the case when they discontinue something. God, it smells so good, though. You do get that hit of the original's DNA with a heavy dose of ginger and this dry rose, almost a dusty type of rose that adds a little bit of a dry, powdery nuance without making it too powdery. Very crisp ginger, adds a fresh spice quality to it. It's rich without being dense. It doesn't have a thick smell, but it has a robust nature to the smell. Like it's a rich aroma, but not a heavy wear. Man, this is such a good fragrance. 60 ml is plenty for me. I mean, God knows how long it's going to take me to go through this bottle, but I'm super happy to have this one. Those of you that have it or have tried it, you know what I'm talking about. You more than likely really like this fragrance. It's really freaking good. This is one of those fragrances that did garner a few compliments. I got 2 unsolicited compliments. Actually, the last time I said unsolicited compliment, somebody questioned me about it in the comment section. It's just a habit to say unsolicited. No, there's never a situation when I go out and ask, other than my wife. If I'm in the middle of testing something, I ask my wife's opinion. That's the only time I ever ask. I don't ask random strangers, hey, do you think I smell good? That's just stupid. Don't do that. I hope nobody does that. So I had to clarify. As soon as I said it, it made me think of it. As a matter of fact, somebody grilled me about that the other day. But anyways, I digress. Very, very good fragrance. I did get 2 compliments that day. It was at Sam's Club, as a matter of fact. It was the cashier and the person that checked our receipt walking out the door. Both told me I smelled really nice. And it's always nice to get a nice compliment. And YSL L'Homme Ultime was guilty as charged for garnering some attention. And then we got the shower that night. One that's not typically a great choice out the shower because it's a great choice for during the day. Mont Blanc Explorer. I had just did the battle video between this and Club de Nuit Intense Man. And so why the hell not? So I sprayed it on as my scent of the evening. Wife was happy about it. Like I said in that video, she wishes I would wear this one more. My wife loves how this stuff smells. She couldn't stop sniffing me. Man, sitting around the house, this is just enjoyable. It is. Is it one of the greatest fragrances ever, like some people treat it? No. But it is a really good fragrance. I have to admit, it has grown on me more and more and more over time. I wasn't a fan at first at all. I actually didn't like the opening at first. I used to have a couple of decants of it long before I ever got this 60 ml bottle. But it grew on me and continues to grow on me. And I like it more and more and more. Still don't think it's a 10 out of 10 type of fragrance, but I definitely think it's a 7 to 8 range type of fragrance. It's really good stuff. It's a great everyday pick. It's smooth. It's a little refined without being serious. It's signature scent worthy, and it's a great year-round option. I think it works in every single season. So, out the shower, Mont Blanc Explorer. Moving into Thursday, it is heated up quite a bit around here. We've been having temperatures in the low 70s has been the highs. So some true spring weather. So I pulled out probably my second favorite summer fragrance, because I was about to say my favorite, but Raja Parfums Oceania I think is my favorite at this point. But YSL EDT. Just grabbed a backup bottle for $40 from Sephora the other day. Supposedly there's a new version of the EDT. Somebody sent me a picture of it, like a European ad for it, on IG in a direct message the other day. So I'm curious. I'll have to get that one at some point. It's so good. Aldehydes and green apple. Fresh, bright, and crisp. Some sage. A lot of ambergris. But a lot of aldehydes. That's the best part about this one. It's so bright and crisp. Synthetic, sure. But I need to get the Le Parfum before I get the new version of the EDT. But this is another one that, now that it's starting to warm up, this is a go-to for me. I was late to the party for the Y line last year. I had a decant of the EDP long before, but I now have all but the Le Parfum, and I love all of them. And honestly, this is my favorite. Those of you who've been watching me for a while, you already know this is my favorite. If I could only keep one fragrance from the Y line, I'd keep YEDT, the original. It performs pretty well on me, 6 to 7 hour type of longevity, which is good for me. That falls into my sweet spot of 6 to 8 hours. As long as I get 6 to 8 hours, I'm good. I don't need more. And spraying it again because it just smells so good to me. God, that's some good stuff. If you haven't tried this one yet, try it. Apparently it's discontinued. They've been clearancing it out everywhere. Check your Sephoras. 60 mLs were $32 before taxes. 100 mLs like this were $39 before taxes. And some change. Like I paid 42 something after taxes for another sealed 100 milliliter bottle. So you may get lucky. Check the Sephoras in your area if you're interested, because it's a compliment machine in my experience. It smells great. Yes, it's a little synthetic. It's that designer blue fragrance appeal, more on the light blue side because it's so bright from aldehydes, and it's a decent performer. It's not a beast. If you want a beast, you need to get the EDP. But if you want super fresh and enjoyable, get YEDT during the day. YEDT. Now I got the shower. Speaking of beasts, I just did a full review on this one. I'm sure I'll have an iCard pop up somewhere in the video for this. But Haramain, Amber Oud Rouge, my favorite Baccarat Rouge 540 X-Straight clone. This stuff is amazing. Sweet amber, saffron spice. It's this warm, spicy amber smell. It's not too floral. The jasmine does come in. It's more so up top than in the dry down. I get opening and heart. I get a good dose of white floral, that jasmine smell. Some people deem it too feminine. I get it. I understand. But I really enjoy it. At the end of the day, that's what matters. Do you enjoy it? That's all that should matter to you. It's great. I love it. It performs great on my skin. I've had some people tell me in the comments in that video that it doesn't perform that well, and then it's a skin chemistry thing. It's not necessarily always a batch code thing. I had people leaving their batch codes in comments and stuff. The batch code thing's taking it too serious for me, guys. I'm not checking your batch code. If you want to check my batch code, I don't even know where the hell it's at. I didn't show it in the video because I don't even know where the hell it's at, but because that's how irrelevant it is to me. I spray, if I like it, I spray it and wear it. It's pretty much how it works out to me. If it performs great, yay, that's a bonus. If it performs weak, I just respray. Depending on the situation and the scent profile, that may be a big deal for me. It may not be a big deal for me. But for most people, if it's weak, that's a huge deal. And look, I understand why. I get the argument for performance, but number one for me always has to be scent. If it doesn't smell great to me, I'm not going to wear it just because it's okay and performs great. So to me, this smells great, and luckily, it performs great on my skin. Definitely get your nose on this one. Like I said, if you trust my opinion at all, obviously I haven't tried every single BR 540 X-Straight clone, but of what I've tried, this is the best for sure. Out the shower of all things, Amber Oud Rouge. Moving into Friday, another interesting combo here. Sweet and sexy. Much more sexy than I ever initially thought it was. I actually wore this out to dinner. The hostess paid me a nice compliment. Our waitress paid me a nice compliment. Of course, my wife was thoroughly enjoying this because I had a late day at the gym. Took a shower. We went to dinner that evening, so this was kind of doubled as my scent of the evening / date night fragrance for dinner. Dolce & Gabbana The One, Luminous Night. Man. Whew. The dates with the incense just work so well together in this fragrance. Man, it's so good. And it performs just right. It's long lasting without being like I have to scrub it off my skin type of long lasting. Way more than I needed for dinner, don't get me wrong. Really, I never need anything more than 5 or 6 hours for any date night we're going to have. This is in the 8 to 10 hour range for sure. And the projection and sillage on it are perfect for it, is mainly what I was talking about. Because the first hour, yeah, it's pretty potent. I would say beyond arm's length type of stuff, outreach. But then it gets a little bit closer and it kind of has this nice little bubble that stays around for a few hours. I constantly get whiffs of it without it overwhelming me. It's enough to reach out and grab somebody within a few feet, especially walking by. It's got a pretty strong trail. I mean, as experienced that night, actually. Counting my wife, I got 3 compliments in one location. Well, I mean, she gave me a compliment before we walked out the door and she smelled me. It's really, really good, guys. I know it's difficult to get. I was lucky enough that a gentleman that watches the channel, shout outs to you, Mr. Trip Hyde, stationed over in Tokyo for our armed forces, ordered a bottle. I did a live stream discussing it. Ordered a bottle. They sent him 2 bottles, and he really enjoys the channel and likes me. Reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'd love to send you the other bottle and pay it forward." Normally, I don't agree to that stuff. I want you guys to enjoy, because he easily could have just like, "Oh, sweet, I can sell this one," and I would have totally. I was like, "Man, are you sure? You know, you could definitely sell that. That you could sell that quickly." This was one of those instances where it's not easy to get, and I went ahead and sure. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's why I did a live stream, so I could tell the story. And if you're watching this, thank you again, sir, for your service. and for the generosity, because me and my wife really enjoy this one, guys. This is must-try stuff. This is better than the one Mysterious Night. It doesn't have the heavy oud and rose combo that the Mysterious Night has, which I think it smells great. It's a little on the powdery side, but not everybody's a fan of that one. This one's kind of along the lines of what I would call more of a mass-appealing Middle Eastern style fragrance. It's really, really freaking good. I know I'm rambling, but it's that good. Then there's a very heartwarming to me story behind it because, it's no secret the love and respect I have for our armed forces. So, again, thank you, Mr. Hyde. But during the day, and kind of for dinner during the day, technically, Dolce & Gabbana The One Luminous Night. Sorry about the rambling, guys. And then after having something that's pretty potent and was, pretty sweet for the most part, I wanted something more laid back. I actually sprayed this on in the video I filmed that night after we got back, and ended up spraying some more sprays before bed. Juliette Has a Gun, not a perfume. The Cetalox fragrance. Very mild, simplistic, super laid back. I like to wear this one to the gym a lot. Like I said in the video that I had it in the other night, this is the fragrance. It was in my rack store video. At the recording of this, it was the video that came out this morning. The day this goes live, it's yesterday's video. This is the fragrance you wear when you don't really want to wear a fragrance, because it's not going to be in your face. After 20 minutes or so, you're not even really going to smell yourself. On occasion, you may get a light whiff of it. It's going to be very light, very clean, a little earthy, musky type of smell. It's got kind of an ambergris smell a little bit, this Cetalox. It's not offensive. It doesn't reach out. It's only, lasts on the skin a few hours for sure. It'll come back here and there to remind you it's there. But it's one of those fragrances, like I said, when you don't want something to overload your senses or anything, but you still want to wear something and smell nice in case somebody smells you. This is that fragrance. A lot of people like to use this to layer with as a base. I'm not the type to really layer a whole lot. I've never layered anything with it. I just wear it as a standalone when I don't really feel like wearing a blue fragrance or a citrus bomb or anything to the gym. I just want to 3 or 4 sprays just to say I have something on that's nice and clean. This is that fragrance. And out the shower, it's good for that too, which is what I used it for. Juliette Has a Gun, not a perfume. Moving into Saturday. Okay, this is the main event. This is the main event, all right? You guys have been on me for a long time, years now, about getting this fragrance. And all of you were right. I am man enough to admit when I was wrong. I was very foolish to put off getting this for so long. I wore it today. I got a nice compliment from Joe, my buddy Joe. Shout out to Vape Time. Those of you that may be familiar with he goes by Vape Time in the fragrance community. He's active on the Facebook groups. He's got a little small channel. He works at one of the stores near me. Talk to him all the time when I go in there. He was every bit of 4 or 5 feet away from me, 5 or 6 hours into me wearing this fragrance. Asked me if I was wearing Invictus. I said, and I'm wearing Rasasi Hawas. I said, it's technically like a Middle Eastern Invictus is how you can look at it. It was my scent of the day. It's what I'm wearing right now. I have a spray on my chest and 3 around the neck. Early impressions on this one is this might be the best cheap fragrance I've ever smelled. It's a heavy statement right there, right? So far, and look, at first hour or so, I'm like, it is really good. I do really like it. But I don't think it holds a candle to my Invictus Aqua. As the hours continue to go, I don't want to say it's my favorite yet because it's only been 2 wearings. I'm going to wear it again tomorrow. Probably going to wear it out to shower again tomorrow as well. I'm not wearing this to the gym because it is way too strong for the gym. And probably through those 4 wearings, I'll be ready to do a review because I'm kind of setting my thoughts and feelings right now on this fragrance. But I don't want to go into a full review and make this another 10 minutes from this point because I have a lot to say about this fragrance. But I will tell you this. I'm going to leave a link to where I got it from Amazon down in the description for you guys. It's $41. It's the cheapest I've found it on the internet right now. Where's the batch code? By all means, go nuts. If I can find the damn batch code, I don't know where it is. So you guys can say, oh, there's no way it's a beast. It must be a newer bottle. I don't even know where the hell the batch code is. Well, in the review, we'll look at the box. I'm sure it's on the box. But I'm confident this is a newer bottle. And I took a shower before I got to the 9-hour mark, and it was still pumping pretty good. So that should tell you a lot there. If it's not performing great on you, maybe it's you. People always are quick to blame the fragrance. Maybe it's you. If others are saying it's a beast, maybe it's your skin chemistry. Because I tell you what, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed by this fragrance. I need to get Dior now, and Chagra, I think, is another one. I watched one of Joy's videos on it the other day. Shout out to Joy. Shura interests me now. Like, I might be grabbing a few of these Rasasi fragrances because I'm sold on this one. I'm sold on this one. Like I said, I'm going to wear it another few times. Then I'm going to break it down in video on my full thoughts on this and my experiences so far. But thus far, that was just a nice story with a buddy of mine for a compliment. It's not the only compliment I got today, not counting my wife. All the stuff I heard about this fragrance is true. You guys were right. Shame on me. You were all right. If you love Invictus, you'll love this. This is Middle Eastern spicy Invictus. Believe it or not, I get a little bit of an incense smell on my skin, even though that's nowhere in the notes. I get all of the spice from the cinnamon and the cardamom, but it kind of smells more peppery spice, like a spicy smoke smell radiating off of my skin. The watery nuances with that plum sticks around for a long time. It's fruity, sweet, aquatic, spicy, smoky for the most part. There's more to it than that, believe it or not, and we'll dive more in depth into this after I do a few more wearings. At the recording of this, it's Saturday night. I've been wearing it all day today. The day this goes live, it'll be Sunday. I'll be wearing it all day Sunday. And probably Monday morning, I'll be putting out a nice video for you guys to give you my full thoughts. But you guys were right. All day Saturday, Rasasi Hawas. Well, I know that was a lot of rambling in this particular video. I had a lot to say, a lot of tangential stories behind different situations and everything, because it was a, not compliment-filled week, but I did get my fair share of compliments, and I usually like to point that out to you guys when it's noteworthy, and because I don't get a compliment every day. I don't get a compliment every time I wear a certain fragrance. It's sporadic. You never know when it's going to happen. A nice positive attitude and positive energy, it really goes a long way with being approachable and having somebody want to even approach you to tell you that they think you smell nice. If you don't seem approachable, you will not be approached. If you look like a dick, people are going to treat you like a dick. Look at it that way. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Still appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What did you wear this week? I can't wait to read what some of your comments are going to be with your rotations and to see what you guys think about Hawas. I finally pulled the trigger. The other day when it got enough mentions, like one of the most mentioned, to make my 10 best cheap colognes of all time video. I said in that video, if this don't make me buy it, I don't know what will. That day, the day the video went live, I bought it on Amazon, waited a few days eagerly, got it, and am more than impressed with that fragrance. Can't wait to see what you guys wore this week. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the fragrances I wore in my rotation and you give them a spray now, pretty damn confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.